Happy day, and welcome to the Sheila C Hill Show. And that C stands for come on in this room and have a sit down so we can chit chat just for a little while. Listen, the Sheila C Hill Show is the ultimate go-to podcast for ambitious individuals who want to live a more fulfilling and successful life, to get valuable insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories. Listen, I just need you to subscribe and join a like-minded community whom I call Sheila's Thrive Tribe. Just subscribe to the show and we'll be glad to welcome you on in. Listen, but if you are new, I am your host, Sheila C Hill. Welcome. Hello, hola, bonjour, como está, ni hao, howdy, and what's going on? Please call Mama and them. Tell them the Sheila C Hill Show is on and let them know we have a special guest in the house on today. Listen, this is part 2. So if you have not heard part 1, please go back and go over part 1 because listen, our guest today, we have a celebrity lawyer, attorney up in this joint today, and I'm so excited to have her here. We do have attorney Dorna Jenkins, say her whole government name, attorney Dorna Jenkins Taylor from Taylor and Associates. Listen, thebomb.com is more than that, okay? With over 20 years in practice of law, Dorna Taylor stands ready to assist you with legal and business matters, big or small. Even though she's a celebrity attorney, she worked with the regular common folk like us too. All right. So don't think she can't help you. Believe me, she can. She is committed to help you make a fresh start, whether you are a startup or is someone about to formalize your business, or a creator. Are you a content creator? Are you a creator in your business and you need protection to protect your work? Yeah, this is what she does. And she is there for you. Even if you're an individual who struggled to pay your debts, she got you. So Dorna assures her clients of top-notch service banked on integrity, professionalism, and compassion. Listen, she is everything we need. Welcome to the stage, Miss Attorney Dorna Taylor.
I need to take you with me everywhere I go. Just to keep me hype.
Yes, sis, I'm your hype girl.
Yes.
Come on.
So glad to be here.
You deserve it, and it's such a pleasure to have you on the Sheila C Hill Show. We're going to just dive right into this because, listen, part 1 was so good, and there was so much to cover. We couldn't put it all in one episode, hence the reason we have part 2. So thank you all for tuning in on today. Now, we're going to talk about, we had talked in part 1 a little about an attorney. A lot of times people just put it all in one basket and think just an attorney can answer all the questions and practice in all areas. So we want to talk about that piece, and then we're going to tap into your book, Do What You Know How to Do, because those real life lessons on loss, love, and life. Oh, part 1 was so good. I can't wait to get back into it. Oh, okay. So let's talk about the professional side of it. Let's go ahead and go over what type of law do you practice and how can you help people?
Okay. So I really have a sports and entertainment practice as a boutique. And I help people who are celebrities, entertainers, athletes, like you said, but I also enjoy working with normal people because we are all normal people, including the celebrities and the athletes and the entertainers. So with that, I love helping people protect their brands, create their brands, curate their brands using trademarks, using copyright for, like you said, our content creators who write books or take photographs or create content on social media. A lot of times people don't protect themselves and then they find themselves upset or mad because so-and-so stole my script or stole my idea or stole my content. And I keep people safe so that doesn't happen on the front end. So I'm really passionate, really dedicated to getting the word out to let people know how they can protect their content, their books, their photographs, their artwork, how they can protect their business, their branding. You got this logo, let's say you're running Sheila's Wing Shack and up and find out that there's a Sheila's Wing Shack in California and they're sending you a cease and desist and they want you to go out of business and you've got a line out the door and they've trademarked it and you haven't, you're out of business or you're changing the name of your business and losing all the brand goodwill that you've built. And people, I find, often don't know how to protect themselves and they don't even think about it until there's an issue or a threat. So I'm really passionate about getting out here on social media and making people aware of the fact that you don't have to be Coca-Cola to do a trademark, that everybody should do that on the front end of their business so that they're protected as they're building and you're not building something just to have to throw it out the window down the road.
Okay.
So that's the trademark side. On the trust side, I'm passionate about that because once you've built something, people think that trust fund babies are only rich people's kids, but it's not. It's any kid, any family that's got anything they want to pass down through the years. You know, our kids don't have to get it out of the mud, so to speak. If we preserve what we're building, we're working our butts off, and we need to preserve that while we're alive so that when we're gone, we can kind of parent from the grave. We can guide our children through phases in their life. Let's say you want your child to get some of this life insurance money when they're 21 and more when they're 30, and you want to just kind of oversee from the grave. A trust allows you to do that. So I've made this little phrase, we need more trust fund babies instead of GoFundMe babies. So those are the two big things that I like to help people with. And, for my entertainment clients, it runs the gamut. There's, I negotiate deals. I do book deals. I do movie deals. I do endorsement deals. We're all over the world traveling with clients. Those deals that's the fun. That's, there's a lot of money in it, but it's also just the fun part of what I do.
Yeah, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. Traveling all over the world with some celebrity clients. Okay, honey, that's awesome. Okay, let's go back to the trademark because a lot of people interchange copyright and trademark. Can you tell a little difference there?
Yes. So a copyright is for something that's fixed in a tangible medium. You've written a book. You've taken a photograph if you're a photographer. Did you know that you own the photograph, even if it's of someone else? So if you take a picture of Barack Obama, he doesn't own that. And if he wants to include that picture in his book, he has to contact you, his people, contact you and work out some terms to buy the rights to that from you. So photographs, books, artwork, content, like, let's say you've written an ebook or you've written a course, all of that would be something that you could copyright. It's fixed in a medium. Music, songs, rappers, singers, producers, all of that gets covered under that. Trademarks are for your logos, your brand names, the company names, the phrases that you may see. The guy, I think a lot of people became aware of trademarks with the Where the Money Reside guy. He trademarked that so that other people couldn't start running around making money off of that. So when you come up with something catchy, or you've got a catchy brand name or catchy logo or something you want just to make sure nobody else gets out in the marketplace with it to cause confusion, where people don't know if they're contacting you or somebody else, the trademark office allows us a way to be able to say, I had this idea, I had this name on this date, and anybody that's using it after this date, I can stop them. It also can stop you if you're out here with something that looks similar to, Gucci or FedEx or whatever, and they can come in and stop you as well. So you want to have a good trademark attorney on the front end before you buy signs and do all your branding and put all this branding on your socials, only to find out when it's probably the worst time that you need to change everything. You spend all this money when you should have just spent some money on an attorney on the front end and protected it or made sure it didn't conflict with somebody else before you get started.
Most definitely. Okay. So with trademarking, so we see the TM with the circle. If you can tell the difference between the TM and then when you see the R in the circle.
Yes, that's a great question. So the trademark process is a long process. It's a government process. So they don't do anything fast. So it's about a 12 to 18 month process from beginning to end. When you're issued the trademark at the end, it's retroactive to the date you started using the mark, even if it's before you filed. So you don't lose all that time, but it takes a long time. And I stay with my clients the whole time. So when you see the R at the end of somebody's logo, that means they filed the trademark application and it's pending, it's working its way through the process. When the trademark is issued at the end and the USPTO has sent the certificate that says you own the rights to the use of this name in this class, then you can change over to the TM. And the purpose of both of those is to put the public on notice. This is a protected phrase. This is a protected color if it's Tiffany. This is a protected, logo, so that people are on notice if they attempt to infringe on your trademark. So while you're going through the process, you'll see the little R. And then when you finish, you'll see the TM.
So you have the R is last?
The R is first. The R is kind of like under registration.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right. And then it could fall through.
Okay.
If you didn't, get the right attorney and you don't know where you're going with it. And then at the end, when they finally say, okay, you've finished all the steps, everything is approved, then you can use the TR to show it's a trademarked item.
Okay, now what do you say to the new business owner who say, listen, I done had to pay this and I had to pay that. I just really don't see the importance of getting this done ahead of time. What do you say to them?
I would say you're wasting the money you spend on this and that, possibly, because if you're spending money on, logo designs, you paid a graphic designer, you've got a website built, you've put signage up if you're in a storefront location. If you find out too late that someone is saying you're infringing on their trademark, all of that has to come down. All that's for nothing. So the first dollars you spend really should be to do a search and find out if what you're planning on building is something that's not already owned by somebody else and unique enough to be trademarked so that there's not confusion. Mm-hmm. And then you should buy all the website and all the other stuff, because you're just throwing money out the window possibly. And if someone comes in and says you're infringing their trademark, you're not going to be able to work anything out with them.
Wow. Because a lot of times people feel that if the website is available, if the domain name is available, or
that means nothing.
Yeah, the social media handles are available, that hey, I'm good, but they don't know what's done as far as the trademarking piece of it. So right. To all your business owners, new, even if you're a seasoned business owner, please make sure you get this taken care of. You want to protect your brand. You want to make sure that no one can come in and claim that, because they could be living under the radar and you've never heard of them. And then they've already have their stuff together. Listen, put the money in at the beginning and go ahead and book her. Okay. Because listen, she know what she's doing. She got it going on. Go ahead and book her. Woo, honey, because
if you look at like Coach Prime, right? Because he was in the news a lot this year. So Coach Prime, we all know him as Coach Prime, but guess what he did? He trademarked Coach Prime.
Wow.
Not only just so he can be selling things or wearing things that say Coach Prime, so that you can't. Right. So a lot of times the celebrities, we can look to celebrities to see what to do because they have the best practices most of the time. Lawyers like us who represent them are protecting them nationally, sometimes internationally. So we're thinking bigger than the wing spot down the street. And so there are always good examples. You'll see another example I always use is when Blue Ivy, Beyonce and Jay-Z's baby was born, they had her to cry on Jay-Z's record. She was a few hours old. And then they were able to use that as a commercial use to show her ownership of her name. And they filed a trademark on her name. Now, Blue Ivy may never sell a thing. She is richer than rich. But the purpose of that, in that instance, is so we don't sell things, Blue Ivy socks and Blue Ivy shoes and Blue Ivy, so that nobody can make money off of their name. So the opposite is true. If you plan on making money on a name, you've got to own it first, or you might owe people that money for infringing on their trademark. You can be sued for this. I mean, we see the lawsuits in the public. We see people fighting over the use of the name. Lizzo had to go all the way to several appeals for 100% that she was in her song that she made popular, so that people couldn't be out here making shirts with that on there and making money off of her phrase, So if they understand that it's important to do it first and protect it before somebody else does, why don't you? Why wouldn't you need to? You need the same protection that celebrities need, because you never know when you might end up being a celebrity.
That is so true. And you want to go ahead and start how you want to finish. So you want to make sure all your ducks is in a row and you have everything taken care of, because like you said, as you begin to scale, that's going to be the furthest thing from your mind, because you're going to keep thinking about building your brand, and that's something that you're going to miss out.
Yeah. And what's the
Woo!
point of putting all this blood, sweat, and tears into building something and then be looking over your shoulder wondering if, you know, someone's going to come and make you have to change everything or stop what you're doing, or God forbid, get a judgment against you and sue you.
Right, right. Now I know who was it? LeBron James, he trademarked the shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Where the news person, I was like, that makes sense. Like now he can use it.
Yeah, he
That's
made
his
money
thing.
off of that, you know, and she should have trademarked it. His lawyers were
Right.
better than her lawyers.
That makes a difference. You definitely want a seasoned lawyer on your team, and Attorney Taylor is that one that you need on your team. Because listen, not only the trademarks, the copyright, the trust, there was another project that you was doing last year, as far as the documents for children. Well, we call them children, but they're young adults. Can we talk
Yes.
about that?
Yes. So that's something that was put on my heart to do because I am a parent of a young adult like you are,
Mhm.
who was going into college. And what people don't realize is once these children turn 18, they're considered adults, even though we know they're children. And so once they go off to college or they go to the Army and you try to call up and say, I need the grades or I need to know, you know, what's going on with the financial aid, they're not going to talk to you because you're calling about an adult who has rights. So unless you have certain documents in place to give yourself the right to have access to this information, you're going to be hung up on. I don't care if your child is in the Army and he's in Kosovo fighting for his country, you're
Yeah.
not going to be able to get any information without their permission. And it's going to be too late once they're off in Kosovo to try to get them to sign these documents in front of a notary. So I created a website, Easy Legal Documents, with the help of Borrow My VA, by the way. They built it for me. A website called easylegaldocuments.com, where I offer a bundle, young adult bundle that contains all the documents you need to give you the information, the right to the information. And you have your young adult go and sign the documents in front of a notary, and then it's a seamless process. And it happened with my daughter. She got sick and was hospitalized in her first semester. And I'm driving to get to her because it was the middle of the night when I got the call. But I was able to call and talk to the doctors. She was not even conscious, able to talk to the doctors because I had that paperwork in place to get the information directly about what's going on with my child. Imagine I'm driving there and they won't tell me anything because she's 18 years old. It would have just driven me
Right.
crazy. So it actually came back to help me almost immediately in her first semester.
Wow. That's amazing that you had those paperwork in place. Wow. I can imagine just the drive going there and so far, Ooh. Okay, so with that, is there something also for, we're raising our parents now in a sense. So is there something like that for your parents, for the parents? What do people need when it comes down to being the POA, power of attorney, or getting documents? Is there something, a bundle like that as well?
Yes. So I thought about because I'm in the sandwich generation. I'm raising my children. I'm raising my parents,
Mhm.
and a lot of us in the age group that I'm in, middle 50s, early 50s, we're in that boat where our parents, they're still in their right mind, and they may have some health issues, or we may have elderly family members that aren't our parents or neighbors or people that we just kind of help out. And when it's time, excuse me, time for them to do their Medicaid enrollment, they may not understand what all is going on, or they may not be able to sit on the phone on hold forever, and they may want you to help them, but without, again, the documents, because they're certainly an adult, documents giving you as a third party permission for the hospital or doctors to share the information with you, they're not going to talk to you. They're going to say, I need to talk to Miss Lula May or whoever she is. And she's not going to maybe understand what they're talking about. And it's important to do this before our parents or elderly family members start to lose their faculties or maybe have some memory issues, because they have to be of good sound mind and body to sign these documents, and the notary is not going to notarize them if they don't feel they're comfortable and competent to understand what they're signing. So again, this is something people have to do before it's too late, before they really need it. So I created an elder care bundle as well, also available on easylegaldocuments.com, to allow you have all the documents you need for financial power of attorney. If you need to go in and do some banking, if you need to talk to the Social Security office about what's going on with their check or their medical, Medicaid, any of that, the open enrollment period. We also have healthcare power of attorney. So let's say they go into the hospital and the doctor's needing some decisions to be made and they don't have the ability to make them. It allows you to make decisions for them for their healthcare. And most importantly, for the doctors to share information with you. How many times have we called the hospital to ask about mama, grandma, and they said, we can't tell you anything. If you have this bundle, they'll just talk to you because they don't want to violate, and they will not violate the HIPAA laws, which prohibit them from sharing information with a third party about someone's medical history. But if you have these documents, they'll talk to you.
I love it. EasyLegalDocuments.com. And it is in the show notes as well as the clickable link. Listen, go ahead and take care of your business now because you don't want an emergency to arise and then you're trying to take care of it. So it's better to be ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
Right. And those are two little things that just kind of came. These are things I needed, like I said, for my child and for my parents. So I said, if I need this, everyone else does too. So let me just make this available, make a bundle, because a lot of times people just don't know.
Right.
And if I have the information, I'm always going to be one to share it. I kept it affordable. It's like $119 for the elder care bundle, I think.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even less than that for the young adult bundle. I think it's like $97 or something, just to get it in the hands of the community.
Most definitely. So you dealt with the problem that you had to do with. You solved the problem. There is a gap there. And to understand that now this is coming from an attorney. So that gives that social proof. Because, somebody could say, hey, I got a bundle. We don't know you.
It's a bundle of junk.
So since you had to use it, we know that the documents that are in there is legit. And that's something that we need to make sure we're taking care of our. Thank you for doing that and reaching out to solve a problem. You solved your problem, but you're helping us as well. So thank you for that.
And can I poke something in? Because you made a good point. A lot of times it's so frustrating to me that people will go out and go to like LegalZoom or somebody on TikTok that's just talking to be talking and spend their hard-earned money to buy something from somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. You want to get a lawyer who's licensed by a state bar, who has somebody overlooking them and their ethics and making sure that they're qualified, making sure that they have the ability and the knowledge to protect you. Because if you go out and get Joe Schmo from TikTok and he gives you some nonsense and you can't use it, there's nobody you can go complain to. And, people sometimes feel like I can't afford a lawyer. You have no idea. I personally make these things affordable to get around that. Because I'm not doing this to keep my lights on. My lights are on. So I'm doing this as a give back. So I just caution people to not take the cheap route for things that are important, or not take the what's right in front of them or whoever's making the most noise. There's so many people on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just talking loud and saying nothing. Do the diligence to just come to my group, get to know me. I'm in there for a year's worth of content, a seat at the table on Facebook, sharing information just like this. You all, watch the Sheila C Hill Show. You know that she wouldn't bring anybody on that's not quality, that you can trust. And just, be careful with who you spend your money with, because I get so upset when people come to me after they bought some junk, fill in the blank type stuff that nobody has reviewed. And then it's like, you have to start over. I had somebody who paid somebody $3,500 for a trust. And the whole thing was nonsense.
What?
They had gone out and got a tax ID and everything, stuff they didn't even need to do, created all kind of problems with the IRS for themselves. And the thing was talking about them being a sovereign citizen and all that.
Oh, no, not one of those. No.
And I was like, see if you can get your money back. She went to find the people and couldn't find them. And because there's no bar licensing board or bar or nobody to keep up with these people, she just lost her money and she had to start all over. And it was heartbreaking, but, we got her where she needed to go, but she spent the money twice. She paid them just as much as she had to pay me, but got nothing. She had nothing that I could use. It was so sad. And, I really am doing more on social media. I'm older than social media. I've been in business when it was like, pick up the telephone and call me or come sit down in my office. But I've been adapting, because this is where the information needs to be for people to get it. And shows like this is really helpful as well. We're out there. There are real lawyers out here who know what we're doing, and we want to help you. Lawyers are not, like I said in the first part of this, not always, the bad guy or the person
Right.
who's out to get you or sleazy or slimy. Most lawyers are really here to help you. Yes, you're going to pay for the help, of course, but
Yeah.
people are out here that know stuff that can help you. And I'm doing everything I can to get myself in the places where people can see me and know that me or my friends who are lawyers or judges can be of assistance to you, and especially in the African American community. A lot of times we
Yeah.
just feel like we don't know a lawyer. I grew up not knowing a lawyer. We talked in part one about the only Black female lawyers I knew was Claire Huxtable and Maxine Shaw, attorney at law from Living Single. So
All
it's
TV lawyers.
yeah, it's not a knock. It's an unfortunate
Yeah.
truth. And
Right.
so I'm trying to be, hey, here I am. And if I
Yeah.
can't help you, I know 600 Black female lawyers that can, just
Most
plug into my
definitely.
network and we can get you where you need to go, so that you can just focus on building your business or raising your family or cooking dinner or whatever is important to you, and not worry about what's going to happen when something goes bad.
Most definitely. Listen, TikTok, listen, my daughter, she's 25 and she gets all her information from TikTok. It is like a search engine for the younger people. So it'll be so good once I know you have TikTok now. What's your TikTok handle?
It's Attorney Taylor 0.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so I know you're going to be dropping some really good information as a real, not just a real attorney, a real celebrity attorney. Because listen, you have so much experience with the sports industry, the music industry, and let's not to mention that you were a songwriter and gotten awards and
Yeah, I've lived 7 or 8 of my 9 lives, I guess, at this point. Um, and that's kind of what informs what I do, because I wanted to be I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer coming out of law school. Well, I didn't know then that I wasn't going to be able to just jump right into that, because that's a closely, held community.
okay.
So what I was able to jump into was the entertainment industry as a songwriter and a producer. And I wrote and produced songs with Keith Sweat and LSG and T-Boz and some of the other R&B artists of the time. Atlanta was the place to be, and I'm here in Atlanta, and it was just a wonderful time. I got a gold record, a platinum record. I'm really proud of that stuff that we did in 2000.
Yes.
But that informs what I do now. So now I represent young artists who are right where I was then, and also young athletes, because we know that the NIL laws have changed, name, image, and likeness laws have changed, and now your high school students can make money off
Most
of their
definitely.
image and their number and their jersey and their name and their, what they're accomplishing on the court or on the field. And parents, a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. And so I
Mhm.
want to be that second mom, to sit here and say, okay, mom, I look like you. I have a son just like you. I have a
Yeah.
16-year-old son, and I want to, protect your child just the same way I would protect my own child. And so that's another, kind of business that I'm incorporating into my firm, is to be able to represent young athletes, high school, college athletes, as well as the professional athletes that I represent, to just bring them along so that we don't have these horror stories that I'm sure are getting ready to start happening with these 9-year-olds people are signing.
Yes, yes. So how does that work? Do they come out searching for you, but do they even know that they need that? Or is that something that you reach out to them?
I don't reach out. I don't solicit clients
Okay.
because I don't have to at this point.
I know
Everything
that's
is
right, girl.
referral.
Uh-huh.
Everything is by referral or by reputation. So
Okay.
I try to make myself available in online, forums like this. People know me. People know my reputation. People know what I've done, and I just give information for free just to educate people. But what that also does is build trust, because then when they do have Coach so and so or the car dealership or whoever sitting down across from them and they feel uncomfortable, they go, well, I've been listening to Dorna, Attorney Taylor, whatever they call me, for a year now. Give us this information. Let me pull her in. So that's really what ends up happening. They call me and say, listen, we have these people talking to us. We don't know what they're talking about, but we know you
Okay.
do. Can you, represent my child? And that's really how it happens. I have people that reach out and say, hey, there's an athlete in my high school that's a beast. I'd love you to sit down with their mother. So it's really referral, word of
Wow.
mouth. My reputation is everything to me. I like to sleep at night. So I try to do right by everybody. And that comes back to me, where people trust me because I'm trustworthy. And again, that's the TikTok people. You don't know these people.
I know.
And a lot of people are marketing. They're not experts at anything. They're experts at selling you something. And once they sell it to you, they're gone. Poof. Because again, they don't have any repercussions. Nobody's going to disbar them. Nobody's going to take their license. So they can just take your money and disappear. You don't even know their name. People are on social media with these made up names, superstar biz, stupid superstar biz, or, hot lawyer or whatever. Who is that? You can't even sue them. So, I'm out here under my government name because I have nothing to hide, and I'm not trying to, have people stand outside my house at night, with pitchforks. So,
wow, that's so much. You have so much to offer. I see there's just so many different levels of what you offer. But then I see the care of the relatability. And that's one thing I commend you on, because a lot of times attorneys, we feel like you're not touchable, you're not relatable. So I like the way that you give the dynamics. You give the dynamics of sharing your story. I'm a mom. I go through the same thing you all are going through. Yes, I'm a celebrity attorney. However, I am reachable. I am touchable, and I'm sharing the knowledge. So kudos to you for doing that, because listen, a lot of people, attorneys come in and they snooty. I'm like, why is you snooty? Like, but a profession, that's your profession. Who you are is who you are, and that's going to shine through regardless of what your profession is. And that's what people see in you. They see that light shining, that you want to continue to serve the community and serve others and be that mentor that so many people need. So
thank you. Yeah. I mean, I feel like God has blessed me with so many gifts and talents. I'm aware of that,
yes.
And they aren't just for me. They can't be, if I have a talent or I have some knowledge, why would I not share that with people? Now I'm not on the street corner. You can't text me a legal question or inbox me or whatever. It's not going to get that basic, but
I know that's right.
but I try to just be, I don't know, just growing up, not knowing a lawyer and wanting to understand it. I just want to be a lawyer people know. I want to be that person that they say, oh, I know her. Even if they never met me a day in their life, they feel like they know me because I'm approachable. I'm me. I'm the same in the White House and in my house. I'm the same person. I keep my feet on the ground. And that, I think people see that and recognize that. And that, again, builds trust. And it's, when you have people say, you can trust me, you can't trust them. Or I wouldn't lie to you. They're lying to you. So those are things I don't have to say. Listen, I'm just going to be on here in that Facebook group giving this information, and you're going to realize you can trust me because you do.
Most definitely. Yes. I mean, a celebrity attorney that has a free group over 2,000 people, and you're just giving valuable knowledge, and you're teaching, and you're taking real life instances, like real time, and saying, hey, listen, what did they do wrong, or what could they have done? And it's like always a teaching moment that speaks volumes, right?
Yes, because I enjoy the law. The law can be fun. It's not, going to jail or probation. It's not all that. All that always just bleh. So I enjoy our community because people are excited about the law. Like, people will bring articles into the group like, hey, I saw this trademark infringement. What do you think? Or what do we think is going to happen with the so-and-so case? Or like when Carly Russell was running off with the fake baby, we had a blast just, analyzing the legal aspects of that. And then also we get serious, and I teach people how to search copyrights, and I teach people how to identify, when there's an issue they may need to get out in front of. And I teach parents how to know when they need to reach out to get legal and accounting help. Accountants are just as important, and paying your taxes. When they need to reach out and get help, so that we don't have these disaster stories. But
yes, prevention is better than cure, like, for real. Take care of your stuff now. I really appreciate it. And listen, when I first met you, I just sort of observed you, and I was like, okay, she seems like she's just mingling amongst the people, like the regular common folks. And and I was like, okay, so she's not one of those. She's not one of those snotty little, I'm an attorney and I look down on you. So I from even first meeting you, I really got that, and I saw your spirit, that it was just like very genuine, very genuine.
Yeah, and I don't like those lawyers either. When I'm at conferences and I see those people and they're like, "Where do you go to law school? Where did you practice?" Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who cares? I have never had a client ask me where I went to law school. I've never
I
had a
know that's
client
right.
ask me, but I've had lawyers ask that. Listen, I just don't have time for it. I enjoy my life. I like to have fun. I'm sarcastic. I joke a lot.
Yes.
Um, I've been through a lot, so I want to enjoy. I like to be happy. I don't like to be,
Yes.
if I don't want to talk to somebody, I just want to talk to them. I'm not going to talk down to them.
Right.
you know,
Just see you later.
uh,
Bye.
yeah. If somebody's giving me the energy that I feel like, then it's going to be, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something, very politely
Yes.
just get rid of them. But to try to make somebody feel less than, you don't know. The
Mm-mm.
brick mason is making more money than most of these lawyers asking, where did you go to law school? And I know that,
I
so
love it.
I don't trip on that. I don't trip on that.
Good, good, good. Okay, so we have gotten through just your career and the different things. We're going to tap into another hat that you wear, and that hat is an author. Let's switch the hats now. You are now an author of the book, Do What You Know How to Do, Lessons on Loss, Love, and Life. So after our brief commercial break, we're going to come back and talk with you about that because I'm so excited. So just one moment. We're going to get ready to get our commercial on. Woo! Y'all going to get ready for this book now. But if you have not tapped into part 1, please do so. Everyday caregivers rise as the unsung heroes in our communities. At Huff Legacy Caregiver Support Network, we stand by these heroes, offering them the education, support resources, and events that they need to refuel and rejuvenate. We understand that when we uplift our caregivers, we uplift everyone they care for. Join our cause, lend a hand, donate, or volunteer today. You can contact us at 346-330-6372. Huff Legacy Group LLC, where business aspirations meet expert guidance. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or an established brand, we tailor our services to your journey. We offer business consulting, top-tier photography and videography, virtual office services, notary, educational services, and so much more. We have what you need. Partner with us and redefine success. Call us at 832-995-0660. Discover our expertise, and together, let's craft a legacy. Thank you to Huff Legacy for sponsoring this episode on today. Reach out to them. They offer so many services. Okay, so we just have a quick recap for our special guest that we have today. We have attorney Dorna Taylor, and we talked about the professional side and the importance of having a trademark, copyright, trust, your legal documents for your teenagers, the ones that think they're grown, but they're 18, they still children. We talked about that, even an elder care package. Please check in the show notes for all those links to get in contact with her, and also to book your appointment if you need to talk with her about trademarking or about trust. Okay, so now she wears another hat. We're going to bring her back to the stage. The hat as an author. Ooh, an author as of 2023. So excited because this book has so many dimensions in it. It will take you on a ride. Listen. Okay, so part 1, you have to go back to part 1 and make sure you're checking, because we talked about quite a bit about some different things in the book, and I read some passages, and just to hear her point of view as well is just so refreshing. All right, so if you can, Miss Dorna, if you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
give us just a brief synopsis, and then I'm going to pull some things out of the book. You can bring us some brief synopsis of the book just to catch the people up who have not listened to part 1.
Okay. So I guess you're first thinking, why is there a book? And what is this book about? This book has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about being a lawyer or any of that. This is a passion project that was just laid on my heart to do because in my personal life, my husband of 16 years passed away 4 years ago. And last October would have been our 20th wedding anniversary. And so on the occasion of that anniversary, I published a book based on something that my husband said to me when I started my firm, Do What You Know How to Do, Lessons on Loss, Love, and Life. And it was a passion project because it's something I didn't want to do. It's very personal. It's a very difficult process emotionally to rehash the past 4 years of our life. When he died, he was 48. My children were 11 and 12 and 15. And it was just earth shattering and mind blowing. And it was right before COVID. So we went from that huge loss into a period of quarantine. And then we built our lives back up to where now my daughter is a freshman in college and on scholarship, doing wonderfully. My son is a sophomore in high school, also doing wonderfully. And his 2 older children are also out in the world doing great. And I wrote this book to walk you through our 4-year process of building ourselves back up to the life that we deserve. And one thing that I know for sure is that there's nobody walking this earth that hasn't been touched by loss and grief and death. Right. But we don't talk about it. And we don't know how to talk to people about it. You lose somebody and then you get 500 Facebook comments, I'm sorry for your loss. Let me know if there's something I can do. In this book, I try to explain why they don't know what they want you to do and why I'm sorry for your loss isn't, you can't even see that. Like, that's just something that's on the page. You can't even comprehend what that really means because the loss can be so deep. So I pull back the curtain on our grief to maybe make people feel more comfortable sharing their grief stories. And that's exactly what has happened. People have opened up. People have shared their story. People have gotten things off their chest. People get stuck in grief and you don't know why you're angry or why you're overeating or why you can't sleep or whatever's going on. It's manifesting as that, but it's really grief. You haven't mourned properly. You haven't expressed what that loss felt like, and you haven't laid your burdens down. This book was me laying my burdens down, putting it on these pages and leaving it there, and getting it out of me. And I have been so good since I did this. My son is so much better. It's healed my mother, who was, as a mother, worried about me and how I was processing this. She was able to read it and know that I'm okay. Wow. It helped my husband's family, his parents, his sister, his brother, his sister-in-law, just everybody and people that don't know us. I received a message today, between the time we did part 1 and the time we did part 2, from someone I don't even know, who said, and I'm paraphrasing, the last line of what she said. She lost her the love of her life last week. And she said she had read the book before he passed away. And she said, you wrote this book in order to help me heal. Wow. I don't even know her. And she doesn't know me. But she's a member of a seat at the table. So we're table mates, And so, I mean, I could weep just saying that out loud because I would never have done this but for God laying it on my heart to do it. And then when he sends me these, not even God winks, these are like boulders that go bloop. See, I told you. I just I feel good. I feel justified, or not justified, because I often do question myself. Did you really tell people all of that type of stuff? I mean, I get into it. I talk about, when Sheila's saying I'm a celebrity attorney and I'm on a pedestal to some people, I tell you about some stuff that really broke down, in the process of going through grief and not functioning at my best self, as my best self. And then I had to snap out of it and go, girl, you got to get yourself together. You're going to lose everything. And we all go through that. And so that message and all the messages I've received, all the Zooms where we've had people together crying and sharing, and the in-person readings where grown men opened up about losing their mother. I had 2 grown men at a reading I did back at home open up in a group setting about the loss of their mother 20 and 30 years ago. They had never shared, even with their family. And what it is we all just need to feel like we have a safe place.
Yes.
And they're like, if this woman wrote this book and told us all that stuff, I can tell her what I got going on.
Yes. Do you feel that you become, in a sense, the voice or the poster child, in a sense, of for people, because you finally got it out and now people are looking to you for strength?
Yes, because that's what they tell me.
Yeah.
They tell me, you were so strong, and so I know I can do it. That strong thing, and I know there are people in the audience watching who are the strong one, and people always say, check on your strong friends, but
Right.
what does that mean? I have people in my life, thank God, who do know how to check on their strong friend, that show up and bring flowers or bring a plant, bring flowers on Valentine's Day, or send us food instead of saying, did y'all eat? Little things that unless you've gone through it, you don't know. You know what people need when somebody dies? Paper towels, toilet paper, the things that you forget to do because you got your head in the sand. So I was blessed to have so many people in my life who understand how to love on me. But I know I'm different and fortunate in that. So I found that people feel like they see when I wasn't strong by reading this book, and they can identify. And so then if they can see what I was like when I wasn't strong, they watch me build myself back up to my normal operating capacity, and they can follow that blueprint to get to healing on their own.
Yes. And I believe that this is the book is the blueprint. This is a comprehensive guide, a blueprint for people to use when they're dealing with grief and they haven't been taught properly how to grieve. And a lot of people don't go to therapists. Number one, they don't have money. They don't trust it, don't believe it. They're church based and say all you need is Jesus. Sometimes you need Jesus and therapy.
Yeah, therapy.
But I believe this book is it was on you to do this, and it was a God assignment to help so many people that did not realize how stuck they were.
Yes.
To be 20 years stuck, but you're just keep going on. It is phenomenal. It is just
and now you're 50 pounds overweight because you eat ice cream every night because you're sad.
Yes.
Or you scream at your children because you have all this pent up aggression, or you drink too much because you're trying to forget about the emotions, or you can go on and on and on about the things we do instead of just saying, I'm messed up and I'm hurt and this hurts and this sucks.
Most definitely.
I did radical things. Like I went on a 7-day cruise by myself, my first cruise. I don't cruise. I'm a get on an airplane and go kind of person. And I took a cruise by myself to places we had been. And I sat on the back of the ship at night by myself and screamed to the sky to get it out. Because I knew I couldn't keep it.
Yeah.
I have children to raise and I want them to be whole and healthy. And I needed to be whole and healthy. I was only 47 and a widow. That wasn't the damn plan.
No, that was not the plan.
When I said I do at 31, I wasn't planning on being no 47-year-old widow. So, I knew I had to move forward and I had to put that stuff down. And I thought I was putting it down, and then my life would come back and slap me and say, nope, you. And so we go through all that in the book. And, I really say this book saved me, because when I put it down on the page, we haven't had a setback since I dropped it in this book and shared it with the world. And when you read the book, you'll see what I mean by that. I don't want to give it all away, because it does read like a story, because so much was going on. It's about an hour and a half read. People read it cover to cover. A bunch of people have, messaged me and said, I couldn't put it down. I was going to read a couple of pages and I looked up and I was finished, because you're just like, what's going to happen to these people next? Oh my God,
Exactly.
And I credit my editor for that, because she did a good job of taking out some of the stuff. I start the day my husband died. I'll put it that way. The book starts the day my husband died. And then I go back and explain some things. And so she helped me to craft it in a way that would be easy to read and follow and just stay engaged. And I'm gonna do an audiobook. I'm gonna do it live on TikTok.
Woo! All right.
So that people can listen to it if they don't read or don't have time to read.
Okay.
to just kind of hear the story, and they'll see themselves in their situations, hopefully in some of our situations. Because like I said about the celebrities, we're all just people. We all put our pants on one leg at a time.
Most definitely. Can we shout your editor's name out?
Yes, Nika Jeter.
Nika.
Yes, Nika is awesome. She spent many, many nights with me on Zoom and on whatever Teams, whatever we could get on, and sit and pour a glass of something to get me through it, and we would just talk through it. I would write, and then she would take what I wrote, and we would go through it, and she would help me craft it in a way that filled in some of the blanks. She helped me realize that I had a writing style that I didn't know I had, because this is my first book.
Yeah.
But that's how God shows up in my life. He's like, here's a talent, use it.
Do what you know how to do.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's something to bring about right there. When you said you've never done it, what do you say to people who have it in their heart, like to write a book? What do you say? Like, where do you start?
Just start.
Just start.
Just start. Do what you know how to do. When I made up my mind to write this book, when I realized that I was supposed to write a book, and do you mind me sharing?
I don't mind.
Okay. Sheila and another lady were the first two people that I told. And she went, finally. Because she had already had a vision that this was what I was supposed to do, but she didn't feel that she was supposed to tell me that I had to come to that on my own.
Yes.
And when I made up my mind to write this book, I go get like a little notepad or whatever, right? And I'm trying to write, and I can't write as fast as my thoughts are going. So I just took my phone and put it on my chest and sat back and dictated the first 4 chapters of this book. Wow. That's how quickly it was coming, downloading. Yeah. So when you read the book, you'll see the first 4 chapters, you'll read it like, oh my God. Then it's like, okay, let's take a break, go back to the beginning and explain some things. Because once I got out of my own way, and just let it flow, I was writing a book. So I sent those 4 chapters to my editor, and she's like, this has a voice, you have a tone, this is all these editor type words.
Yeah.
And so that built my confidence to go, so this is good? She's like, this is amazing. Let's just, take a few things out to kind of keep the story moving and put those here. And she just kind of started moving chess pieces. But until you start, you really don't know what you can do. If we remember riding a bike, you can't ride a bike standing beside a bike looking at it.
True.
You're not going to learn.
But you know what? The way you did the book, but what do you say? I don't know. When you did this and you just had that download, as you was in that process, how did you feel internally? Each time you was letting go, was you getting lighter? Was you as you released, or what?
Not as I was going, because I ended up taking myself back to those emotions. So I almost went back through everything again.
Okay.
And actually, I went through a lot of things for the first time, because when everything was happening, I was on autopilot. I was mom. I was daughter-in-law. I was daughter. I was making sure everybody else was okay. Right. And I would take these moments for myself, like the 7 days that I would go away by myself, or, took some trips just to kind of get to myself and to see about myself. But I wasn't really processing what was happening to me as a wife in the moments of it happening. It was when I went back and wrote it is when I dealt with it. So when I finished and I read it back, then I was healed, because I saw my resilience. I saw what I had accomplished. I saw, you a bad mama jamma. Like, girl, you
come on now.
That. Your kids are good. Everybody's good. The house is still standing. You did it. You did everything that had to be done. And you're still here breathing. And actually, you're better. You lost 50 pounds. You chopped off your hair. You got your business back up. And now you know what's important. You're not going to work all night because you want to spend time with your kids, or you're not going to take everything that comes to the door because you have to have your peaceful quality time with yourself. Yes. I know how to spend time with myself. I enjoy time with myself. Thank God that God made me a person that enjoys my own company, because I spent a lot of time with myself during COVID as a widow. Imagine being a widow and then COVID hits.
That's tough.
If you aren't comfortable and at peace with you and who you are, go crazy. and I did not go crazy. And so so to answer your question, when I was going through the stuff, I wasn't even feeling a lot of it. I was just checking
Okay.
boxes. This is what needs to be done. I need to do this, and then I need to do that, and I need to do this. But going back and writing it. So I say to anyone who's hesitant to write, even if you don't publish it, write it down, get it out, and read it back. And then you'll see who you are and what you are made of. And you can pat yourself on the back and move forward. And maybe you'll be comfortable sharing it. I changed my mind 3 or 4 times about putting this book out.
Even once you finished it, you was like, I know. And at the beginning, remember you was talking, you said, I mean, who wants to hear my story? Like, what's so special about my story? And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It has so many layers. And I'm just like, now you're outside of that frame and you can see the whole picture now and why it's here to help people get through and get unstuck, you know. And that's for anyone that's listening. Your story is going to resonate with people. You're going to find your tribe where what you've been through is going to help them get through their process. And a lot of times when we're at the finish line or we're still racing, but if someone's behind us, we haven't even quite finished yet, you still can reach back because you've already been there. And then you be that person that you needed when you was going through.